What's good, everybody? Thank you for joining us this wonderful Monday evening. It's been a blessing to get thus far. Thank you for joining us. This is James. This is the great Dr. Pernell Maxwell.
What up?
This is the Lounge Talk. And we've been kind of MIA for just a little while. We've been pretty busy, but we appreciate you for your support. We appreciate you for being patient. And listen, if you haven't done so already, please like and share. We got uh, two platforms. We're on Facebook and we're also on YouTube. So like and share the Lounge Talk. Give y'all a few minutes to go ahead and share that. P, how's your day today, brother?
Man, pretty good. The weather here in Arkansas it's different. Today it was pretty crispy winds. The sun was out. It was beautiful though. But overall, can't complain. Another day on this side of the uh, of life. So
Right,
I count
right,
it all joy.
right.
But yeah, man, it's been good. Again, like James said, sorry for it's been a while. As the kids and adults say nowadays, life been lifing out here. So
Most definitely.
but like I say, we just get another opportunity to just share our thoughts and just, go from there. And again, like James said, if you guys got any comments or suggestions about topics that we should hit later on, feel free to leave them in the section below so we can, tackle them.
That's what's up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, if you haven't done so, just go ahead and like and share the Lounge Talk. Today, we're discussing a topic that I believe is important, especially if you're a parent, you're inspired to be a parent, teachers, anybody that really deals with kids. Uh, Shout out to Big. What's going on? Biggin, aka my sister-in-law, aka Carolyn Tolliver, aka little bit sister, aka twin. What's going on?
Twin.
Um, but yeah, like today, we're discussing a topic, just being active, an active role in your kid's life. Sometimes as parents, we take, uh, especially if our kids are doing right, we take that for granted. And we sometimes not intentionally ignore our kids, but we sometimes are absent in certain areas, school life, who they friends are. We assume because they're well behaved that they are not into anything, and that's the wrong approach to parenting. And I'm learning this because uh, I have an older daughter. I have two kids that's in grade school. I have a 8-year old and a 12-year old. Not necessarily too and I'm involved with all my kids, but not necessarily just uh jumping the broom with Chris because he's two. But now I got an 8-year old and a 12-year old. And so what they have already experienced in life, I never had to deal with as a kid. And so one thing we have to do as parents, we have to get involved and ask questions and sometimes be that overbearing parent to like be in your child's bubble because you don't want to be that one parent that gets that news at the last minute. I didn't know. I didn't know this about my kid. I didn't know this. And you don't ever want to get to that place because there's so many parents like that. When it's too late, or when the police come pick up their kid, or when they on probation or whatever, and you find out something about your kid at the last minute because you wasn't involved. Not saying you're a bad parent, because you take care of your kids, but it's more than just putting clothes on their back and some food in their stomach. We
For
got
sure.
to get involved in their everyday life because listen, y'all. First Peter 5:8 says the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour, and so he's lurking. He's lurking. He's watching, and don't think he don't got a tag on your kids. If you belong to Jesus, if you belong to the King, we belong to the King. Of course, He's going to make you public enemy number one. So go ahead and start getting involved with your kids, because I'm here to tell you, y'all, like, it's really not a fair playing game right now. You really got to get involved. And so many people have, and I'm not going to go into too much of it, but about a week ago, my Jasmine, something happened to where I had to be involved. I'm not gonna go into depth with it, but something happened to where I'm like, oh crap, this is real. This is real life. And if I don't get involved in my kid, the devil can plant anything he wants to in your kid's head. And I'm not gonna do all the talking, but I just really want us to be involved and just be alert and just do a double take,
For sure.
because it's really not a fair playing game. I ain't gonna do all the talk. Go ahead, be my fault.
No, you on the money, man. Um, just being involved, period. It's just very vital. I think, I'm a parent as well. I got a nice squad, 4 total. So I just think back to my childhood and how influential my parents were in my life. And that's things that they were involved with and things that they may not have been aware of, right? Like James said, I'd like to say I come from a pretty decent, great stock of human beings. So, but I just didn't just learn everything from them.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I know exactly what
So
you're talking about.
I took a lot of things from, maybe the homies at school, or surrounding myself with maybe even some of the things my teachers told me.
Right.
And a lot of it, but it's worse even now. Back then, watching TV, listening to the radio, back then, you had the cop CDs. Nowadays, you're not doing that anymore. So it's you're streaming stuff as
Right.
you're doing now. So kind of to piggyback on what James was saying, the access to more things that have more influence over our children's lives has become greater. So back in our day, it was just a couple items, like I say, music, television, or the old school say television. Let's see, and again, you got the ultimates, you got books and
Right.
magazines and newspapers, you got super commercials, you know what I'm saying? And all these things have been heightened in today's time. So like James was saying, it's at times it's important to be like overbearing, not too much you getting on your kids' nerves, but where they know that you are concerned.
Right. Right.
At first it might be like an irritant, like you getting on my nerves type thing, but it's you being the influence, just like everything else is in their world. I can say for my pops, he used to be on me tough about just doing the right thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not being caught up in what everybody else is doing, but
Right.
just building character. He was like, son, when you go out, you're a representation of me
Right.
and his family. You know what I'm saying? So when you mess up, then they calling me, and then I got to get off work. If it's bad enough, now I got to come regulate. You know
Most
what I'm saying?
definitely.
When I get home. And man, that was a character building through all my adolescence, but my pops was on my case. He was like all my life, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it helped me like stay on course. So even if I was influenced, I had that quote unquote peer pressure, I didn't but fall victim to it, because I had somebody else I had to deal with. I had my pops, you know what I'm saying, and my family members looking at me crazy, like, why would you go and do that? You know better, you know what I'm saying? And
The village.
yeah, the village,
Your business make it before you get home from school. Your business already at the house.
already, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. And that's somewhat lost nowadays.
Boy.
The information doesn't get back to the parents or the guardians A lot of things is kind of like swept under the rug.
Right.
Um, so that's why it's important for you to do your job. I've had a couple times, like James was saying, where um, you got the school end up calling me on some stuff, but it's like you should have did that a long time ago. Now you want to wait till it gets out of hand,
Right.
for me to try to save the day or try to help get kids back on track. But if you would start from the beginning, I know for all my parents out there, if you really care about your kids, even if you don't, and your kid can be a real good kid, because we got a lot of good kids out here.
They sneaky though.
They are sneaky. But I tell all the teachers, if I know the principal too, I say, hey, listen, you have any problems out of this one, feel free to call me. Don't hesitate.
Text, call. If I don't pick up, leave a voicemail.
Yeah, send me a letter in the mail. Whatever you need to do to get my attention, because we all got to be on the same wavelength. Because, right. And also too, a lot of times your kid can get labeled quickly, especially if you're not involved, right?
Right.
If one or two things happen, now they automatically label your kid as a problem child.
Most definitely.
They got this type of thing when, if it might be some, they might have had a bad day. It's like they want to deem that the rest of their year, like that's how they gonna be, and that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? I try to let my kids know, hey, you got to respect yourself and respect others. Your every day not gonna be good, but you have to have some type of self-control, self-discipline to get yourself back on track. And it's a task. I know, especially like James said, I got a 12, 10, and Big Strong, he 4, and baby girl 1. So I got a nice spectrum of children, but
the squad.
The squad. But what's so crazy is they all learning from each other.
Right.
But not only are they learning from each other, they're learning from the parents, which is my wife and myself. So how we conduct ourselves is a great example how they go conduct themselves in society with school or sports and all that kind of thing. So again, this is not only for just parenting kids. This is actually, in a sense, if this makes sense to somebody, it's actually parenting yourself to making sure that you're staying on course as best as possible. You know what I'm saying? So
I know Pastor Jackson said this a lot. He said when his kids were born, David and Haley, he was like, they didn't give instructions. They didn't give us instructions to parent. Shout out whoever Darrell is. I like what he said. Said it's the instant reactions of gratifications that are making our jobs as parents a lot tougher. You're right on the money, Junior Man. So
HD, what's up?
One thing, it's hard to being a parent these days because our kids, listen, when we was growing up, I know we had access, to pornography, all that, but it was you had to sneak that. Nowadays,
it was dial up.
Nowadays, like it's crazy. You gotta, they can get on their phones, they can get it on their iPads, and it's not just normal stuff. It's craziness. They getting exposed with stuff that they shouldn't even get exposed to. Right. Like it's new to us, but it's normal to them.
Normal, yeah.
And so we gotta, I'm saying, adapt with the time, not agree with it, but adapt with the time to educate ourselves.
Right.
Because there are things now that I've never would even thought that I gotta explain to an 8-year-old.
Yes, sir.
There's things out there now that I'm like, bruh, how can I even have the vocabulary
break this down
to explain this to my kid? It's hard enough explaining this to adults. Now I gotta explain this to Jasmine, Genesis.
Right.
Like what's going on? And listen, y'all, I'm not here to offend nobody. I'm not here to pass judgment on anybody. But what I don't want to do is put other people's beliefs and dump that on my kid and make it okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't
But it's
want my kid
confusing.
exposed to sexual things before it's time
Right.
anyway,
Anyway.
especially things that are new to society.
Right.
So one thing I have to do is I have to be involved, and I was lacking on that. And then this particular incident, you know, with Jasmine, I was like, dude, I gotta really be on top of my game, because let me tell y'all this: Satan don't care. He after our families.
Yep.
And listen, he after, like, he is not playing fair. He knows his time is short. He's really after our families, and we really got to be on top of our game, y'all. Like, in prayer and, you know, just interceding for our family, because any small crevice that you give the enemy, he's gonna take it.
All day.
Any small crack, I'm talking about the little crack in your garage floor.
Right. That's all it
If
takes.
he gets that type of crack, he coming in blazing. And so it's crazy. Like, we got kids growing up now with what in today's generation, in 20 years, is going to be the norm.
Yeah. Which is wild.
It's going to be the norm. And I promise y'all, I'm not trying to be on the cancel culture or the cancel, but listen, we got to stand up and protect our kids from the enemy, because he's not playing fair.
Right.
And so one thing I agree with Fernell saying is we got to have that village back.
Yeah.
If you know me, listen, even if you don't, but if you know me, because some people know Pernell, some people know me,
Right.
some people know Crystal, some people know anybody else, Bernica, some people know them. If you know us and you see my kid acting out of all 10 of them, and you see mine acting out, jack them up. Let me know, then I'ma jack them up.
Got to.
Because I'd rather them have hurt feelings than bailing them out of jail. I'd rather them have hurt feelings than seeing them their life cut short early. I'd rather them get checked now, so they won't have to get checked by the police. You know, stuff like that. That's what my mama told me. You know, but nowadays we really have to get back to this village raising. We can't do this by ourselves. It ain't my fault and no more. We gotta stop that. We gotta all be intentional. And listen, P's kids, they like mine. My kids,
Uncle James.
we gotta raise them. If I see him cutting up, listen, what you doing? Nah, let's go talk to your pops real quick.
Right.
And so we got to get to a place to where we ain't scared to tell other folk kids, especially if they belong in our families, or we know we have a friendship with people. We gotta really check these kids. Now, you see somebody kid cutting up. Now you know your mom and daddy raised you better. What you doing out here?
Right.
If I see a kid I know, and I know their parents, what you doing out here?
Yeah.
Come on, let's talk to your mama, because I love them, and I don't want to see them go down the wrong path. And I love their parents, and I love